Alright, hello, good evening. I'm assuming everybody can hear me. My name is Emmanuel Ajima, and welcome to the second episode of Girl Talk. Yeah, the accent just had to come in. Alright, guys, but no, more seriously, good evening, welcome, guys. It's nice to have you here, as usual, joining us for our second episode of Girl Talk. So today we're going to have a conversation about contraceptives and its education and awareness, because, Girl Talk is more or less about the sexual reproductive systems of both women and males, and how best we can, take care of ourselves when it comes to these particular things, and how best we can be there for each other. So today we're going to talk about contraceptives. So the girls here, please listen. Let's take a few notes so that we know that you don't take the Lydia like paracetamol. The boys here, please listen so that you know exactly what your women go through and how best you can take care of your women. But yeah, today's episode is brought to you by Fast Care. Fast Care is an online pharmacy that delivers your drugs to you, so you can sit at the comfort of your home, just order the drugs and they'll bring them to you, more or less like both food, but this one is like pharmacy on wheels. So yeah, Fast Care is just there for exactly that. So stay tuned at the end of today's episode, because Fast Care has a representative who is going to come and talk to us about what Fast Care is about and how it operates. And before they leave, they are going to give one lucky person, or two, or even three, who knows, a package from Fast Care, so that you know that Fast Care actually really cares about you. Alright, so I'm not going to waste any more. The one person that's feeling an hour for some reason. So, ladies and gentlemen, permit me with how do they usually say it? Like with a round of applause, or with a round of applause? I think it's with a round of applause, right? Yes. So permit me with a round of applause wherever you are today, to introduce the guest speaker for today, who's going to talk to us about contraceptives, the education and awareness of contraceptives, the only Twitter doctor that we all want and have agreed, Dr. George. Hi, Doc.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hi, Doc. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome to Girl Talk. We are so glad to have you here with us tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Yeah,
Doc.
thank you very much.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about contraceptives and how they work and education around it. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time, because I'm sure that a lot of people have questions and what's next. So we're going to do, a few minutes first, maybe about 10 to 20 minutes. Then we'll take a Q&A. Then we'll end the session. Like you come again, then you talk to us. Maybe we'll do a last Q&A. Then we'll end the session. Does that work?
All right, that's fine.
All right.
That's
Okay.
fine.
All right, guys. So I'm going to hand over to Doc so that he can take us through contraceptives and our awareness for it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. George. I'm at work, so there may be a few interruptions here and there. So if it happens, let's all. Pardon me if that happens, right? So yeah, today we are talking about contraceptives, right? We've been hearing about contraceptives here and there, and I know when we ask a few people right now on the space, they will talk about the fact that all that comes to mind when they mention contraceptives is emergency pills, right? The morning after pills. That is what most often people, when you mention contraceptives, that's what comes to mind first. So today we are here to talk about contraceptives in its entirety. As a whole, right? The other forms of contraceptives that we have, and the other stuff, right? So that's what we are basically talking about. So I just hope that everyone just pays attention, and then let's learn. After everything, I'll allow everyone to ask questions so that we can all learn as well. So when I say contraceptives, what does it mean? When you say contraceptives, it simply means that you are trying to prevent conception, or trying to prevent pregnancy. Am I audible enough? Can you hear me? The host.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
All right. So it means that your main aim of using a contraceptive method is to prevent pregnancy. That is the main goal, right? That is the ultimate goal, right? This one we are not talking about preventing STIs or STDs or whatever. Yours is just to prevent conception. That is pregnancy. That is, so why should we be talking about contraceptives? Why should we be talking about contraception, right? So when recently I hosted a space, right? When this whole Sarkodie and Yvonne Nelson saga came around, right? When in Yvonne Nelson's book, she spoke about the fact that as at age 25, she knew nothing about contraceptives, she knew nothing about pregnancy, she knew nothing about this adolescent health and this stuff, right? That matters a lot, right? So I held a space, and in fact, you realize that this is something that is common or present in most of the youth, right? They are sexually active, but they don't know what female reproductive health is. They don't know what goes into contraceptives. They don't know what goes into protection and all that. Yes, so it's just right that we talk about some of these things and then educate the public on some of these things. Recently, there's been a research, right, conducted by one Dr. Gifty, right, Gifty Kia, and if it's been in the news recently, right? She conducted a research in three of our popular universities, right? I wouldn't mention their names, but I mean, if if you are in Ghana, if you are Ghanaian, you should be able to guess the universities I'm talking about. Three of the popular universities, and the sample size was 675 students, right? University students, and she found out that out of the 675 students, 93% of them are sexually active, right? And then, no, I mean, more than half of them were sexually active. And then 93% of those who are sexually active do not use contraceptives. They don't know much about contraceptives, right? So it means that this actually tells you or informs the reason for contraceptive awareness, right? So this is actually one of the reasons why when I was contacted by the smooth executives, I mean, I was like, okay, I'm all in. So yes, so this is one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons why we are talking about this. So now let's go into it. What are contraceptives? I mean, what are some of the other forms of contraceptives that we have apart from emergency pills? I know a lot of you have heard about or have used emergency pills before, but today I'll take us through the other different forms. So the first one, right? This one, people do not consider it as a form of contraception, but it's actually one of the, it's really the best form of contraception, right? Which is abstinence, right? The number one contraception, method of contraception that we have that can protect you 100% from conception is abstinence, right? Abstinence means, not having sexual intercourse, right? So that is the number one form of contraception. With this one, you are assured of 100% prevention of pregnancy, unless of course you are Mary, right? Jesus' mother, where the Holy Spirit can impregnate you and then you give birth. Yes. Aside that, 100% assurance that you will not get pregnant if you abstain, right? Abstinence, right? So that is the number one form of contraception that we have. So the second one, where a lot of you know as coitus interruptus, where others also call it withdrawal method, right? So pull out game. I know the boys they barb the pull out game vibe. Yeah. So you hear some guys talking about the fact that their pull out game is top notch. It's 100%. Am I still audible? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're still good. We're still listening.
Good. I mean, if I'm talking, let's be giving some reactions so that I know that I'm online. It's raining here, so I'm scared my network might mess up. Yeah, so all right, so yeah, the second one, which is coitus interruptus or withdrawal method, right? So this one, I think we all know, but let me also um, explain or talk more about it. This is where a male and a female doing intercourse, as at a point of ejaculation or as at a point of releasing semen or sperm into the female or reaching the climax, you realize that the male pulls out the penis the vagina, right? That is the coitus interruptus I'm talking about, the withdrawal method. So that one, you try as much as possible to not release into the female vagina, right? That is it. And with this one, ideally, if you're able to pull out at the right time, ideally, you're not supposed to impregnate. But there is a but, right? You cannot be 100% accurate all the time. You get, so you cannot be 100% accurate all the time. So this one, it's not reliable at all. It's not a reliable form of contraception. It's not reliable at all. And I advise my guys, even though you may think that your pull-out game is top-notch, it's 100%. No, nothing touches it. You are just stopped up. You've been doing it for years. You've been doing it for months. One day, it go bad. So you have to be careful. It's about 78% accurate, or you're about 78% assured of preventing pregnancy. So please, that's the second one, the coitus interruptus or withdrawal method, right? So the third form of contraception is what is popular. Is also popular. Condoms, the use of condoms, right? So I'm building a point, right? So I talked about abstinence first. The second, I talked about coitus interruptus, which is withdrawal method. Then I'm going to condoms, right? So that we can all be following, so that nobody gets confused. So the third one is condoms. So condoms, we all know we have the male condoms are very popular. People use it. It's well patronized and all. But the female one, I can trust that about 80% of you haven't seen the female condoms before. I can bet that about 80% of you haven't seen it before. But it's there, right? It's there, just that it's not well patronized. It's not so patronized, yes, because of how some people describe it as uncomfortable, right? So yeah, there are female contraceptives. There are female condoms which can also prevent pregnancy. Yeah, they are there. You can search online. You can just type Google on Google female condoms. And you see that they'll be there. They'll be there. How to use it. You can even go on YouTube how to use it and all that, and you see it. Just that it is not patronized. It's not well accepted. Not accepted per se, but it's not well. Yeah, let me use patronized, right? Because of how it is. So a lot of people don't like it. A lot of the ladies don't like it, right? It's not so comfortable, right? So the third one.
Know about.
Yeah, hello. Host, were you asking me something?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Were
was
you
saying
asking me
that it's
something?
because maybe. Yes, I was saying that if I could help you there, because most women are not exposed to it. There's no, like incentive to patronize it because they don't even know what it's about. They've never seen it before. Those things.
Oh, the thing is, right from its inception, it was not accepted, right? So the companies that produce it give up, right? So yeah, you wouldn't want to produce something that is not so accepted or that is not so used. So you just stop. So it's just still the old ones in the system that are around, but yeah, it's not well used. It's not used actually. So it's the new ones that still go ahead. But one thing about condoms is that aside the fact that it protects you from pregnancy, it as well has about 95% protection against STIs, right? Sexually transmitted infections, right? Yes, so you are protected. You are protected both ways. So from getting pregnant and then from STIs as well. So that is the thing about condoms. And I advise that there are some reports, right, with evidence that people reuse their condoms, right? So when they use condom for a round of sexual intercourse, they repeat it. So I'd advise that is a very bad and a dangerous way to use condoms. It's one condom for each round, right? Yes, that is it. So you don't reuse, because when you reuse, you are increasing the chances of the tearing of the condom. So you see that you think you are protecting yourself, but you are actually not, in reality, you're not protecting yourself, right? So let's be careful with that. So now I've talked about abstinence, I've talked about withdrawal method, I've talked about condoms. Now let's go to the emergency pills. The popular one, the one that everybody knows. When you mention contraceptives, that is the first thing that comes to mind, right? So emergency contraceptives. This one, you would have to pay attention to the emergency there, right? It is not something that you use every day, because you don't have emergencies every day. You don't get emergencies every day, right? It's meant to be an occasional something, right? So it's also called the morning after pills, right? So you don't use emergency contraceptives frequently, like the way you take your supplement, the vitamin C, the vitamin D, and the likes. Yes, you don't do that. So that is, so what is emergency pills? It contains a hormone, it contains a hormone called levonorgestrel, right? About 0.75 milligram of levonorgestrel, or 750 microgram of levonorgestrel. Those who work in the pharmacy, or those who have had the opportunity to use it and have read on it, have read it, you've seen that yes, it contains something. The main ingredient inside is the levonorgestrel that we have. We have different types, right? The popular ones. I know when I ask a few of you to mention some of them, you'll be able to give me some of the names. Right. So we have, host, can you give me one? The emergency pill. Can you give me a brand name?
Me, I don't really know them like that.
You're lying. Just one. So you're mentioning them. Yes. So yeah, we know about Lydia. The popular one is very popular, Lydia, right? And then we have Postino 2 is also very popular. We have the Levon 2, also very popular. Contraceptive 2, also very popular. We have a B72, it's also very popular. So yeah, those are some of the brands of emergency pills we have, right? Let me be quick to mention that they are not abortion pills. I've seen that a few of you, some people, you meet some cases where they are pregnant, they've confirmed that they are pregnant, and they are taking these pills thinking that that is what will effect an abortion. No, they are not abortion pills. So what they actually do is that they go and they prevent or suppress ovulation. Ovulation ovulation in ladies, it means that the time is a time within their menstrual cycle where their eggs are released on their fallopian tube, right? So their eggs are released, right? There always is a released egg and goes to the fallopian tube and is ready to be fertilized by a sperm, right? So their eggs become, so that way you can say that they are ripe for pregnancy. Yes, so their eggs are released. That's what we call the ovulation period. That period when you have sexual intercourse and the man releases inside, it goes and then the sperm goes and fertilizes, like what we learned in JHS into science, fertilizes the egg, and then the person, conception has begun, and then the development of the embryo, and then it goes and all that. So that is what happens. So the emergency pills go and prevent ovulation. That is the first thing. Another thing it does is that, you see, for women, there is something we call mucus, like mucus, that is at their cervix, right? Cervix is the entrance of the womb, so there's a mucus there, right? So what the emergency pill does is that it goes and then thickens the mucus there, making it mucus around the cervix, so making it very difficult for sperm to enter into the womb, and then for it to even go and fertilize the egg. So that is another thing it does. Another thing it does as well is it prevents the thickening of the womb, the lining of the womb. So you see, when you are pregnant, when somebody is pregnant, when somebody is pregnant, your womb is supposed to be thickened, right? It's supposed to be thickened for implantation. When I say implantation, I think I'm going too technical, but I'll just make it shallow so that we can all understand. But when I say implantation, it means that your womb thickens for your egg or the fertilized egg to come and then attach itself to the walls of the womb for development of the fetus to occur, right? So the emergency pills go and they prevent the ingredient they contain of progesterone prevents the thickening of the womb, so that there will be nothing like implantation occurring. So those are the three ways through which emergency pills work, right? There are other, when we are going forth, I took my time to explain this so that when we are going forth, I will just refer you to some of these things so that we get a clearer picture of whatever happens, right? So that's what emergency pills are. And what I should also mention is that emergency pills, within 3 days, you can take after intercourse, you can still take it. That's 72 hours, you can still take it and it will work. But the trick is that the earlier you take it after the sex, the better, or the higher the chances of its efficacy or effectiveness, right? So when you take it right after the sex and you are safe. It's better than taking it 2 hours after the sex, 6 hours, 8 hours, or even 72 hours after the sex. Because the farther it goes, the lesser the chances of preventing pregnancy, or the higher the chances of getting pregnant, you see. So when you want to use emergency pills, make sure that right after the sex you take it, and you don't take it to say after first one and you take one, after second one and you take no. You have to wait when you are done with the act or the sexual intercourse, then you take it, right? So that it can work. And I've also mentioned that it is not something that you take every day. It is for emergency purposes. That is why it is called emergency contraceptive, right? You don't have emergencies every day. It's occasional. So let's get that in mind, right? Yes. So I think I've mentioned that. There's also I've mentioned. So now let me do a recap: abstinence, withdrawal method, condoms, emergency pills. I hope we are on the same page. Host, I hope you are on the same page.
Yes, we're on the same page.
Yes, and I'm not confusing anybody.
No, I think we're fine on this side.
Yes. So I'm trying as much as possible to make it so shallow and easygoing so that we can all understand everything. So the next one I'll talk about is the daily pills, right? So there's something we call daily pills. This one as well contains hormones, right? Contains estrogen and progesterone, right? Estrogen in the form of eternal estradiol. You don't need it, but just for mentioning sake. And then it as well contains the levonorgestrel. What is in the emergency pills? The daily pills as well has it, right? So, and then it as well contains iron in the form of ferrous fumarate, right? So those are the ingredients in the daily pills. So what it does is that this one you are going to take it every day, right? So when you look at it, there are types. They are like the popular ones, the Secure, the Lydia. So there is also a brand of Lydia that is daily pills, but that one the sachets or the pack. The pack is yellow, right? This one, let's get it so that if you are somebody who want to use it, you don't go and buy the emergency pills for daily pills. The pack for the daily pills is yellow, and that of the emergency pill is pink. So let's get the difference so that you don't go and do a mistake. So so the daily pills, you are going to take it every day. So like the name, daily pills. So you are taking it every single day to prevent pregnancy, right? So that is how it is. So you're going to take it for 21 days. You're going there are arrows on it that shows you how to take it, and wherever you buy it, they will teach you how to take it. It's very easy to use. So you wake up if you want to take it every morning, you wake up in the morning, you take your pill. You wake up in the morning, you take your pill. Or if you want to take it every evening, in the evening you take your pill. You make sure that you take it about the same time of the day. So if you want to be taking 7 a.m. every day, you make sure that you stick to that time, right? It makes it it helps you it helps get a steady concentration of the drug in your blood, right? So that it becomes effective, right? So that is how daily pills work. So it as well also does the same thing, prevents ovulation, so it thickens the cervical mucus, and then also prevent the thickening of the lining of the womb, right? So the same method that I explained for the emergency pills. So if you know you are sexually active, and I've also said that you can't be taking emergency pills every day. Your best bet could be the daily pills, right? You can be taking every day, right? So it helps a lot. It helps a lot. So the next one, so I've talked about four things. So abstinence, withdrawal, condoms, emergency pills, and the fifth one, which is daily pills. So now let me talk about the which one again? Let me see. Implants. There are some we call implants. Let me talk about implants. So yes, there is a form of contraception that we call implants. So this one, they are just like the name. They are going to implant something or a small plastic rod, right? It's like a rod, very small, right? They're going to implant it or insert it under the skin of your upper arm, right? I mean, some ladies on the space, I'm sure they've done some before, they've seen some done before, so they know what I'm talking about. So implant, so they're going to insert something very small, it's like a rod, plastic rod, right, under the skin of the upper arm, right? And that one, it contains the hormone, progestin hormone. It's as well does the same thing that the hormones do, right? Suppressing ovulation, suppressing the thickening of the womb, and then thickens the mucus, right? And this one, the good thing about
Guys, so sorry once again for the technical inconvenience. This Ghana network wants to disgrace us, but it won't happen. Alright, Doc, so let's listen back to you. We were talking about IUDs and how they work.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, Doc, we can hear you.
Yes. So no, I was not talking about IUDs. IUDs are different from implants. Yeah. IUDs
okay.
are
Wow.
yes. So I'll come to IUDs. So
Okay.
implants, right? So what I'm talking about is implants, like some a rod, that small plastic rod that is inserted under your skin, right? Under the skin of the upper arm, right? So the good thing about it is that it also contains hormones. Actually. So progestin hormones specifically. So what it does is that it's as well does what the other things do, right? Like the prevention of ovulation, prevention of the thickening of the lining of the womb, and then thickening of the mucus of the cervical mucus, right? Preventing the easy penetration of sperm into the womb, right? Those are the things it does. So the good thing about this one is that you insert it and then it takes you for a very long time. So sometimes 3 years, 4 years, or even 5 years. So depending on the brand that you use or the brand that you use, it can take you for 3 years, it can take you for 4 years, or even 5 years. I mean, preventing pregnancy for 3, 4, 5 years, as long as 3, 4, 5 years. So that is what happens, and it's reversible. If you want to now give birth or get pregnant, you just go and remove it. You remove it, and you are good to go. So that is it. The popular brand. I'm not advertising for anybody, but just to get the clearer picture, the popular brand is what's mostly people call the Jadel, right? And there is also Implanon, right? Yes. So they are there. I mean, those who have used it before know what I'm talking about. But I hope you have the general overview of what implants are, right? So these ones are different from IUDs. IUDs are like intrauterine devices. So that's the name. IUDs, intrauterine devices. So intrauterine means that it's inserted into the womb. It's a device inserted into it. So it's like a small device, like it's T-shaped with a thread, right? That is inserted into the womb. And this one, so there are two types. Even the IUDs, there are two types. One thing I forgot to mention about the implants is that it gives you about 99% of protection against pregnancy. You see how effective it is. So you just put something there, 3, 4, 5 years, you are protected, right? From getting pregnant. So 99% efficacy. And so the IUDs do the same thing, 99%. efficacy. So now I'm talking about IUDs. So T-shaped substance inserted into the womb, and it protects you from getting pregnant. That is simply it, right? No need to think plenty about it. Forget about the big names and all that. So there are two types of that one. There are ones that are hormonal. So it means that when I say hormonal, it means that it has hormones. It's going to release hormones that will also do what I mentioned. The three main things that I mentioned, right? And then the other one is non-hormonal. So non-hormonal is mostly what we call the copper IUDs, right? It has a metal called copper. So what the copper does is that what the copper does, it serves as a spermicide. When I say spermicide, like killing the sperms, right? So it has that effect on the sperm. So it prevents the sperms from even going to fertilize the egg. So that is the effect that the copper IUDs do have. And this one is not hormonal. It's not hormonal. But the hormonal ones are the ones that are the progesterone hormones, right? That prevents pregnancy. So there are different types. The IUDs can also give you protection for about 3, 4, 5 years, right? Depending on the brand you use. And then the copper IUDs too, as long as 12 years, right? Depending on the brand you use, right? So that is basically about IUDs. I'm not talking about the side effects and all that, because they are quite similar to each other, right? There's a slight differences. So when I finish talking about everything, I'll talk about the side effects in general, so that then I'll show the differences or the individual differences at the end of the talk, right? And even I'm sure some people have a few questions that they would want to ask, and to make me talk about some of the side effects or some of the things that are there to talk about. So those are, I've talked about implants, I've talked about IUDs, right? Then I think what again is there? Okay, so what again? I talk about implants, IUDs. Okay, the last one. Let me talk about the last one, which are injectables. Other name for it is the birth control shots. It's like the way we refer to vaccine as shots, or vaccine shots, or COVID shots. So this one is birth control shots. So it's like you go and get an injection, and then that injection is preventing you from getting pregnant. So it's as simple as injectables. So that one too, we have two types. We have the combined combined injectable, and then we have the progestin only injectable. You don't worry about this whole thing. Combined means he has two hormones, and then progestin only means he has only progestin hormone. So it's just simple. There's nothing so big about it. So with the injectables, what happens is that the combined one, you're going to be taking it every 12 weeks. So like every 3 months, right? And then the progestin only, you're going to take it for about also every 3 months, every 3 to 3.5 months, right? That is what you're going to take. So 12 to 14 weeks. That's what. So when you take the first shot, after 3 months, you're going to take the second shot. You have 3 months like that, and it protects you for as long as you want, right? So that is basically it. So let me talk about some of the side effects that people see when they are using some of these. The first one is that it affects the hormonal ones, the insertions, the injectables, all those ones, and then even the pills, right? So what they do is that they affect, or they have effect on your menstrual cycle, right? So sometimes your bleeding changes. Sometimes it becomes irregular. So sometimes you can have twice menses twice in a month. Sometimes you wouldn't even have it at all in a month, right? So those are some of the discrepancies, and it's normal. Another thing about them is that it can also cause heavy and longer bleeding. So if you are, the ladies understand, if you are light bleeder, like your bleeding is not so heavy. When you're on some of these medications, it becomes heavier. So it means that you have to be changing yourself. Often. And then if it's 7 days, or if it's 5 days, sometimes it goes to 7 days, it goes to 9 days, and all that. So heavy and longer. Sometimes too, it becomes lighter or shorter bleeding, right? So those are some of the, and it's specific to each and every individual. So your side effect or your experience will be different from somebody else's. Right? Some people don't even experience anything at all, right? So those are some of the things. Some people too tend to add weight, right? When they are on some of the medications, right? They tend to add weight, right? And then there is also irregular spotting or irregular bleeding. Sometimes you are done with your menses, but in between your menses, you see that you'll be spotting a bit. There'll be some blood coming out sometimes. Yes, so it happens as well. And sometimes too, it's painful. I mean, your cramps during menses becomes it heightens or it increases, right? So it happens as well like that. And with the IEDs, the thing about IEDs is that when right after insertion, they are going to insert something into your womb. So right after insertion, you have some abdominal discomfort here and there, or abdominal cramps here and there. But after some time, it all fades away. It fades, right? It goes. So that one is not permanent or permanent something that people really worry about. After some time, it just goes. Yeah. So basically, I think I've exhausted almost everything that you were supposed to know on contraceptives. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, if there are any questions or there's a part that you don't really understand, you can just draw my attention to it, and then I'll throw more light on them. So yeah, host.
All right, thank you so much, Doc. This has been very educative and very interesting. I mean, I learned a lot myself because before this, I didn't even know there was a difference between implants and IUD. So this has been great. All right, so guys, while Doc is still with us, if you have any questions, you can just request to speak, and then I will allow you. Then you ask your questions, and then we take it from there. So this is like a Q&A session. If you have any questions of what If you have any questions on what Doc just talked about, so just raise your hand or request, and yeah, I'll allow you to speak. Okay, I can see a few requests so far. So, guys, when I allow you to speak, just ask your question, and Doc will answer it.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. So if I'm getting your name right, Hussein. Hussein, what's your question for Doctor this evening?
Okay, so I've been hearing people saying the more you taking contraceptives, it may damage your uterus. So being that you cannot give birth, I want to know if that thing is true.
No, there is no substantive research that says that the more you use contraceptives, it will damage your womb and whatever. No, there is no research that supports that. The only thing that I can talk about is the fact that the use of some of these contraceptives or hormonal substances for a very long time, chronic use increases slightly your chances of getting some of the cancers that we have, like breast cancer and cervical cancer. Slight increase, right? For that one, there are researchers that speak about that, right? But for damaging your womb and the likes, I've not seen any paper or any evidence that shows that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Hussein. Thank you very much, Doc. All right, so we're going to go to the next person. Lambert, I've allowed you to be a speaker so you can ask your question. So guys, whilst everybody's asking questions, please don't forget that this is possible because of Fast Care. They're just going to talk to us briefly after the program, so just stay tuned.
Hello. Good evening. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is it possible to
Lambert, we
get?
can hear you. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, my question is that is it possible to get pregnant right after an abortion? And if yes, is it appropriate to take post pill? That's emergency post pill. Hello, hello.
Yeah, hello.
All right. I think Doc has your question.
Yes. So what happens is that when you are pregnant, there is a hormone that is released that serves as a natural contraception, right, or natural contraceptive for the lady. So in that instance, the lady doesn't get pregnant. I mean, the lady doesn't get pregnant even if unprotected sex and the guy releases himself inside the lady. You don't get pregnant at that point. But the moment you've committed an abortion, or I mean, the moment you abort the baby, after a few weeks, that's now the body realizes that there is no pregnancy again, so there is no need protecting you from that hormone is not released again, so it goes down. So at that instance, when you continue when you have unprotected sex and the guy ejaculates, you can get pregnant, right? Because ovulation can be possible after a few weeks. After ovulation can be possible, and you can actually get pregnant. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Doc. I think that basically answers
Love
your
that
question,
girl.
right? Lambert, I think that answers your question, right?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Amma, you have the stage. Please ask Doc your question.
Hi everyone. So Doc, my question is how long, like if you're taking contraceptives, like how long should the person be taking it? Like what's the maximum number of years or months would you advise someone to be on contraceptives? Or like, yes, that's basically the question.
This question, this one is relative. It's subjective to you. It's how long you want to be sexually active and how long you want to prevent pregnancy. So for me, I can't state that you should be taking contraceptives for 6 years, right? I can't say that because I don't know how sexually active you are, and I don't know how ready you are for pregnancy. So if you're not ready to get pregnant, you can protect yourself up to when you are ready to be pregnant. Yes. I can't pinpoint or emphatically say that take contraceptives for this number of years. No. I can't say that because I'm not you, right? And I don't know when you would be ready to get pregnant. I don't know why I get what I mean.
Yeah, I get it, but you were
Yes.
saying if you are taking contraceptives for a very long time, you might be prone to getting these cancers and all that. So let's say I'm not ready to be a mother, right? Like I'm still young. I'm not even married, but then I'm sexually active for like
Hello?
say, hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you repeat yourself?
Okay, so I was saying that since you said taking contraceptives for a very long time can make you prone to getting certain cancers, right? So my question is, let's say I'm not married or I'm not ready to have a child, and I've been sexually active, or I'm sexually active for about 5 years, right? Is it advisable to be taking contraceptives throughout those years, or you think at a point, like I know you can't tell me exactly the number of years,
I get you, but yes. So the best answer I can give you is that take them for the shortest possible time. I don't know how to put it, but then as short as a period you can take, right? So if you think, I mean, the even the research, it doesn't really pinpoint that if somebody takes the people that were using it, they took it for this long time or this number of years, and they were their risk of breast cancer was increased by this, or no. What happens is that they just talked about the fact that prolonged intake or prolonged consumption of or taking of contraceptives, hormonal contraceptives, increase the risk of breast cancer and cervical cancer, right? Yes, they wouldn't pinpoint. They can't pinpoint for each and every individual because we are all different. Somebody can take it for 10 years and their risk wouldn't be increased, right? Somebody can take it for 6 years, it wouldn't be increased. Everybody is different. So there is no way we can pinpoint this number of years or this number of months or this number of this and that. But what I can advise is that take it for the shortest period as possible. Yes, that's what I can advise. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
All right. I
Thank
think
you.
that's basically that's it. So Brakofi, please ask your question. After Brakofi, I think we'll take 2 or 3 more people. Then we would have to call it a night because it's already getting late.
Good evening, everyone. My question is that if I'm going on a vacation with my girlfriend, and maybe it's a week or more than a week, or maybe like for some months, which
Is that not Kofi Mama? Yeah. Tell it to
if I'm going on a vacation,
Mama.
Yeah.
Okay.
if I'm going on a vacation for like a week or more than a week, and I'm thinking of it's with my girlfriend, so most likely outside.
Yeah.
So what kind of contraception should we opt for?
Okay. So yes. So this is, I know why you're asking this. So he's a pharmacist, right? So I know why he's asking. So there are drugs that even today, as in the pharmacy, I came around pharmacy and I'm still here actually. So I met a case like that where a lady came and said, I want to prevent getting ovulation. Oh no, what's the name? Menstruation, right? You didn't want to get. You didn't want to menstruate, huh? So we should do something about it for it. Yeah. So there are some drugs. There is a drug, no testosterone, or the end. People call it the end tap, right? So people say and all that. That they take to delay ovulation or to prevent not delay, but then prevent what's the name? Menstruation. Yes, that is mostly what people take. But for me, I don't normally advise it because it's hormonal and it messes your whole hormonal system, right? So even though it works, but I don't normally advise that, right? No testosterone, so it's there.
Thank you so much. I have another question. So is there hope for me if I've been taking a lot of emergency contraceptives and I'm not seeing my menses? Is there a cause for alarm? Should I panic? What should I do?
So you need to see you need to go see your pharmacist or your doctor. Go see your doctor, right? Because sometimes you've taken it for a very long time and it's having it has some of the side effects. I talked about the fact that it affects your whole menstrual cycle, right? It messes your whole menstrual cycle. It changes the whole thing. So if you're not menstruating, you need to go see your specialist or your doctor quickly so that they examine your hormonal system. They'll do your hormone test to check your hormonal levels and all that to see how far you are or how the whole thing, how messed up the whole thing is, and they try to correct it for you. So I would advise you see your doctor as soon as possible. If you are not menstruating for 2-3 months, 3 months and above, 2-3 months you need to go and see your doctor quickly.
Thanks so much, Doc.
All right, thank you very much, Doc. So we'll take Ekia, then we'll take Mami, then we'll just let Fast Care have a few conversations with us, then we'll end it for tonight.
Charlie, thank you for drawing my attention to some of these things. I forgot to mention them, so it's good to draw my attention to them. Thanks.
Hello, Doc. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Okay.
Please, I wanted to ask if you have an intercourse date and you take in a contraceptive and you have another one tomorrow, should you take another one or the one you had yesterday? It's still protective.
No, it's not protecting. It's not, you see, that is why. You see, I told you that. I told you that. You see, when you know that you are actually active, you don't active. I mean, today, tomorrow. I mean, like that. You need to resort to another form of contraception, right? So that you don't end up taking emergency contraceptive pills every day, right? No, it's not advisable that you. So if you know that you're active like that, it's better you sit down with your pharmacist, you
That's what
talk.
I'm into.
They'll examine.
Like,
They'll ask you a
yeah, so
few
right
questions
after
about.
my HIQ,
Hello,
like they're not,
somebody's
yeah.
I'm
talking.
just
Hello.
doc.
I think there are some interruptions. So yeah, so if you think you are active like that, if you are active like that, you need to sit down with your pharmacist, and then you talk things through, right? They'll ask you a few questions whether you have some conditions here and there, some comorbid conditions here and there. If you don't, then they recommend a form of contraception for you. Most often it may be the daily pills, right? If you don't have any of those blood clotting the conditions, and they maybe breast cancer, cervical cancer in your family and all those things, they'll ask you a few of those things, and then they'll put you on the best. But I wouldn't advise that when you take it emergency pills today, the next day when you have sex you take it again, the next day. No, if you know you are sexually active, you are like that, then you need to resort to a different form of contraception. Because when you take it right now and you have sex the next moment, the first one you took wouldn't protect you from the fresh one that you just took. I mean, you just did. Whatever. I know you get what I'm saying. I'm tired. All right. So next question. I hope you got me.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yes. Nice one.
All right, Mama. So your question. Then we take a conversation with fast care. Sorry. Then we end it for tonight.
Okay. Hi, Doc. Hi, everyone. My question is, if you have PCOS, yes, is it advisable to be on contraceptives? Like, you don't see your menses for like 6-7 months. Is it still advisable to? Is it advisable to be on contraceptives?
This is one of the trickiest condition you can have. You see, polycystic ovarian syndrome, your case is a whole different ballgame altogether, because your hormonal system is already not so regular, right? It's so imbalanced, right? So with you, I wouldn't say anything, but I would advise that whoever manages you as a PCOS person, you sit with the person. They know how your system is, and they will prescribe the best form of contraception for you, right? I wouldn't advise you take anything unless you talk with your specialist, whoever deals with your PCOS condition, because your condition is a bit tricky, and it's not. I can't just say that take this, take that. No, it is not advisable. So you sit with your physician, whoever manages you, and they decide the best option for you, because they know your hormonal levels and then how your whole system reacts to some things, right? So I hope you got what I mean.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, because already for PCOS, three things. Already you have the amenorrhea, right? It comes with it, right? The amenorrhea means your menses isn't coming for months, right? It will delay for months, right? And you have the polycystic ovary. It's quite large. I mean, a lot of eggs, and then you're having the hormonal imbalances. That where you have a lot of facial hairs and chest hairs on your face and chest and all that. So already your hormones are all over. So before you introduce any hormonal entity, you need to be very careful. You need to talk with your physician or your specialist, whoever manages you. They decide, and it's individual. I mean, it's specific to each individual. So that's how it is. Yes.
All right, so I think that is it with Mommy. Thank you so much, Doc. So we're going to have a rep from Fast Care. Just give us, a little insight of what Fast Care is about and where we can find them. So I know there are a lot of requests in the session, tonight we actually do not have enough time. So what we're going to ask is that you guys please leave a message. We'll make sure to do an answer, like Q&A session before the next session, so we answer all your questions. Or leave the messages. We'll get Doc to answer them, and then we'll send them on the page, so you can have an answer to them and everything. So we're going to have the rep from Fast Care. Just tell us a bit more about the app, so that we know where to get our drugs from, so we don't have to move from our homes.
Somebody asked of what is the use of secure in the question. I mean, in the comment section. Secure is the same as the daily pill I'm talking about. I mentioned it. The secure and the Lydia, they are the daily pills, right? So yes, it's part of the daily pills. Whatever I said about daily pills applies to the secure, right? So yeah, that's it.
Alright, so I think our rep from Fast Care can take it from here.
Alright, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So
Okay.
please tell us about the goodies you have for us.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Theophilus from Fast Care. Fast Care is simply the pharmacy in your pocket. So all the questions you are asking, basically you can just direct them to Fast Care. We have our mobile applications on both the App Store and the Play Store, where doctors like Dr. George, whom I've been chasing for a while now, are available for you to talk to them for free. And whatever prescription comes out of the talk with the doctor, we get it delivered to you. We also work with mobile laboratories like MedFit to do your labs. So your SCD testing and all the other testing, we can do it for you while you sit at your hostel or wherever. And then we take action from there and help you. So basically, Fast Care is just the pharmacy in your pocket, made conveniently available on your mobile phone. We also have can you still hear me? Because my network seems like it's... Hello?
Yeah,
We can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. All right, thank you. So we also have a feature for our ladies, especially for tracking your period. It's still in the app, so you can track your menstrual cycle. So all of these questions are answered. Let me just put it that way. All of these questions are answered as part of that package, and it comes with providing you period supply. So it's a package which will be given away about some 5 packages this evening to some 5 lucky winners, just for you to have a taste of what it looks like. I think it's even shared in the slides up there, so you can scroll through and you'll see that. So this allows you to track your period and have your period supplies delivered to you before it's that time of the month. So basically that's Fast Care. It's on the Play Store and the App Store, or you can just go to fast.care, PHARST.care, CARE, and you are sorted out. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the last thing that you said.
Okay. You would have to tell me where you head up to.
Yeah, so I heard you have the conversation about Fast Care and everything. I'm sorry, I lost you because it's raining here now, so the network is a bit sketchy.
Yeah, me too. It's raining here too. Yeah, so I spoke about the Power Girl. That is our period tracker feature for the ladies, which the ladies can use to track their period and also get their period supplies. It's a nice package that includes everything you need to go through your period comfortably. The painkillers, the pad, the wipes, even cravings like chocolate and all of that, it's part. And I also announced that we'll be giving out some packages to some lucky winners who Smooth will be selecting, and then Fasca will deliver these packages to these lucky winners. And I also talked about our applications, which are on both the App Store and the Play Store. It's called Fast Care. So you can go and get it and direct all the questions that you're asking Dr. George. You can direct them there. There are doctors just like him, a lot of them. They are available and it is for free. And you can ask them all these questions and they will answer them for you. Every day, anytime, anywhere. Yeah. So basically that's that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please, my producer is here. Elom, as you are here, please add me to the people that are getting the care because I like the packages, because I like chocolates. So I'm telling you ahead of time. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us today. This has been amazing. Thank you for joining us for the second episode of Girl Talk. We'll most definitely see you again when we bring another interesting topic for us to, discuss, just listen and hear about. Because when it comes to these issues, there's a lot we need to talk about and there's a lot we need to learn. Thank you so much for joining us, and the recordings would be on the page in case you missed something and you want to go back and listen to them. If you have any further questions, please leave them under the comment section or leave them on the page. We would get Doc to answer them and then you can have access to them. My name is Emanuela Jima and I was your host for tonight. See you again next time.